Rob. We've got another episode here today, and I'm going to get us straight into it. I want to talk today about VAR, of all things.
Oh,
I think,
goodness.
yeah, I think this week's a great week to talk about VAR because off the top of my head, there's no incidents in the Premier League with VAR in the last week or two, so it's an unspoken topic right now. But
Yeah.
before we get into too much, I want to ask you, do you know which season VAR was introduced into the Premier League?
Oh, that's difficult. It's recent. I'm trying to remember which season it was. 2019?
Okay, is it 2018, 2019, or 2019, 2020?
2018, 2019.
Oh, you're one off. It was 2019, 2020.
Oh, no. I didn't think it was during the... I thought it was the season before the COVID season.
Yeah. Also, I'll give you a half point though, because it was the 2018 2019 season. It was introduced in the World Cup that season, or whatever the race was.
Okay.
So I
I
think that's
thought I thought you
probably
might try
why.
and trick me with a bit of goal line technology.
Yeah, that all came in pretty quickly.
Mm.
Anyway, so the main question for today is around VAR. Is we've had VAR now for about 4 or 5 seasons, and I want to know if you thought VAR is being used correctly, or if there's anything in VAR. It's not about the question is not about are the referees using it correctly, but it's more about are the rules of the game and stuff like that being applied properly by the VAR. So, are the VAR referees applying the rules of the game properly and therefore using VAR properly?
Uh, I I'm so conflicted about this because I mean you know this. I'm fairly pro VAR, but in terms of this, is it being used correctly? No, I don't think it is. And the reason I say this is because I think this term "clear and obvious" is is being used to pass off refereeing mistakes, if you know what I mean. The things where you're like, because I can understand the 50-50 challenge, not giving a red card. You're like, he's gone a bit unlucky there. But it's the ones where it's like, this is a blatant handball, his hand's away from his side, but you don't want to re-referee the game or whatever they're calling it. It's like, you're not re-refereeing the game. You're there to give the referee a second chance to see it. Because these things happen in 1.5 seconds. Like the slowest decision will be 1.5 seconds that you get to see it, and that's not a very long time to think about it and see is that the correct thing. So no, I think inherently it's not being used correctly because because of that term, and that term is overruling the actual laws of the game. The term of clear and obvious is making the laws of the game almost go out the window.
Yeah, I know earlier in the season, you had a complaint about how VAR was being utilized, not across the board, with regards to heavy challenges. I don't know if you want to.
Yeah, yeah. So this one, I remember having this conversation with you, and because I almost brought you over to my side with this idea that what it seems to be is it's like challenges are deemed to be only dangerous once they actually inflict injury. You see so many of these challenges that go in, and it's like, I'm not talking about the ones where they get the ball and then follow through. I'm talking about the ones where this bloke's gone in knee high on someone, but because it's so aggressive, it's actually mistimed it completely and actually missed the guy. It's missed everyone, and you're sitting there going like, that's horrific. If he hits him, that's a red card. Why are we waiting for him to be hit? Why are we waiting for players to get injured? We're talking about all these injuries this year with the extra minutes and all this stuff, but we're still allowing blokes to fly in on unacceptable challenges, and just because they didn't get the player, it's deemed acceptable. I'm sitting there like that's not okay. Why must a player get injured before we put the preventative measure in? That's the whole bloody point of it. It's to prevent the injury from happening.
Yeah, so that's kind of where some of my thinking was around VAR not applying the rules properly. Because, like, furthering your point is just that why must someone break a leg for the red card to be applied when it's a leg breaking challenge? Just because he missed the player, but he tried the same thing. Why is that a red versus not?
Yeah, that's I agree with you there. I think that's in terms of not refereeing the game. Again, this idea that's, well, I think it's the three, I can't remember what they are, but it's like reckless, dangerous, and out of control or something like
Yeah,
that. And you see these challenges where it's clearly reckless, dangerous, and out of control, but because you haven't hit the player, it doesn't make any sense. And I think those are the moments where, like for me, VAR should be used for those moments where someone's gone in on an outrageous tackle and it's been missed by the referee because there hasn't been an injury. You
yeah,
know, the ball's been passed off and you look past it.
yeah.
Um, and that's when they should go back and go, this is not acceptable. It
So
shouldn't be for these little 50-50s.
I've got a take on VAR that most people don't like. They don't want to talk about this because maybe it falls into the we don't want to re-referee the game. But I'm coming from the angle of I'll tell you what it is, and I'll tell you my angle. So something that I've picked up on, or for a long time, is if someone. So there's two clear examples. There's the free kick and there's the corner. The free kick one, someone's dribbling with the ball just outside the box. Someone comes to tackle them. They dive, so there's no contact whatsoever. They get the free kick on the edge of the box. They score and they shoot it straight into the goal. It's a goal. In my opinion, VAR should go back then and say, look, he wasn't even touched. It's not a free kick. But only because it was a goal straight away. We're not trying to re-ref the game, but because goals change games, allowing that goal to stand because he dived and the ref, again, it was maybe a good dive and the ref missed it. I think in the case where it's a direct goal, as in a free kick goes straight into the goal, the VAR should check that. And it won't change the pace of the game because the VAR can check it before the free kick is, like while the free kick's being taken, they can check it. So there's no change to the pacing of the game. It's just to avoid cheating, basically, in the game. And hold on, I'm not done. And the second one is on corners. And as an Arsenal fan, I'll give this example. Arsenal played Porto this week in the Champions League. And a couple of times I picked up on a Declan Rice who was taking the corners from technically the left side. He didn't put the corner in the corner quadrant or whatever you call it. And it's not like it's on the edge of it. It's like quite a bit outside of it. Now, in my opinion, if that results straight in a corner goal, as in like he kicks it straight onto someone's head and it goes in, the VAR should go back and say, well, it wasn't even in the corner thing. This is not about like, centimeters or whatever. But the rule is it needs to be in the thing. So if that's not the rule, cool. When I take a penalty, I'm going to take it in the 6-yard box then because it doesn't matter, right? But I'm not allowed to do that. So why am I not allowed to do that for a penalty? But when it's a corner, I just put it wherever I want. And when it's a free kick, you just can have one, even if it's not a foul. That's kind of my take on that.
Yeah, on the corner one, I agree with you. And I was actually going to use a penalty example, but I was going to say we judge goalkeepers for going off the line for a penalty.
Yeah.
But like, for example, who's it? Douglas Luiz, who keeps slaughtering it in from the corner direct.
Yeah.
It's like if he does that, but the ball's not in that quadrant, or at least touching that quadrant, surely that's not acceptable.
Yeah.
So I do agree with you on that one. But in terms of the free kick, the one thing I would ask is, does it only matter if it goes directly in? What if it's an assist?
Yeah, see, that's where it gets fuzzy, and I would argue, so that's where I'm sure, personally, if I'm the one making the decisions, and maybe it's not a good idea, I would say if it goes directly in, or if the first touch, as in like a cross onto a straight header, then I would say the same thing applies, but I think too many people would get angry about that. So I was willing to compromise on just if it's a direct free kick straight into the goal, that was the only time it would be utilized on a free kick. And again, the methodology or the thought process here is just we want the game to be played within the rules. That we just don't want rules bent effectively, and that's what VAR to me is meant to stop: is rules being bent.
I get what you mean, but I think that's a case of the on-field referee just doing a piss poor job. To be honest, if you're getting bought out by divers, and I think that's where you start leaning into the refereeing the game. I think it should be used inside the penalty box.
Mm-hmm.
That's that inside the penalty box, and if there's like serious foul play that's been missed, like some bloke in the background, no one's seen him, has elbowed a bloke in the head. Like I think anything else is there's no need. And the biggest thing for me I would do to improve VAR. I know that wasn't the question, but to improve VAR for me would be every single time have the referee not go up to the monitor, but do what they do in rugby and get like a big screen in
Mm.
the on the stadiums, and you show the incident on the big screen, and you have the referee look at it along with the VAR. You
Yeah.
watch it, and you watch it again, and then the whole stadium, because that also because the big thing with VAR is it detracts from the live aspect of the game because you
Yeah.
don't know what the hell's going on.
Yeah.
Whereas if you get to watch it and you can see what the referee's seeing, and you go, actually, maybe I have missed something. I think that's the best thing, and just keep it to the penalty box. Don't involve it anywhere else, and make sure the on-field referee is involved in the reviews, and only bring it to the on-field referee when when you know it's a mistake. If you get what I mean, like they
Yeah.
do in rugby. I think that's the only thing they need to do with VAR. Otherwise, if they can't do that, if they don't want to do that, scrap it because Newcastle versus Blackburn, one of the best games I've watched all season because it was allowed to flow because there was no VAR.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I think we got both some interesting takeaways here on VAR. We've come in just probably before another horror VAR decision takes
Yeah,
place.
that's true.
So maybe we can ride that wave a little bit in terms of yeah, getting some more views on this. But thanks for listening, guys. And if you have any questions, or we'd love to hear some of your takeaways on VAR, how you think it could be improved, or some of the things you think that they're missing. So let us know in the comments, and we'd love to hear from you. Anyway, see you next time.